today. My name is Chantel Smith. I'm the coordinator for recruitment and programming here in the Honors College at the University of Maryland. Joining me for this chat, we have Dr. Jenny Lang, the Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment within the Honors College, and we have a few of our current honor students. We'll ask our students to introduce themselves after the presentation. So this presentation will take about, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll be available to answer your questions until 7 p.m. Please make sure to use the chat feature only if you have technical issues, and we will be answering your questions through the Q&A feature. If you see a question that has already been asked that you would like to also ask, you can actually like it to move it up in our queue. So without further ado, we're going to get started. So you may be wondering, what exactly is the Honors College? So the Honors College at the University of Maryland is an opportunity for invited students to join a community of faculty, staff, and our other students dedicated to diversity, inclusivity, responsibility, and a sense of engagement within the world. Students invited to the Honors College will join one of our 8 different living learning programs, which will provide each student with a community and opportunities to explore a focused curriculum as they pursue their honor citation. Most courses for the honor citation will satisfy general education requirements, so the courses students take will help them as they work towards earning their degree. You can look at the Honors College as an enhancement to your education, allowing you to have a different option of classes to take in order to fulfill some of your graduation requirements with a co-curricular component included. Our goal is to foster learning inside and outside of the classroom and to create a supportive, close-knit community for our students. Our 8 living learning programs offer students a wide range of concepts and ideas to explore. That's including cybersecurity, design, research, humanities, business, globalization, and the life sciences. Students of all majors are welcome within the Honors College and to each of the living learning programs. Most of our students will earn their honor citation in their first 2 years at University of Maryland, but will remain a part of the Honors College for all 4 years, taking part in our social events, professional development opportunities, other research, internship, and study abroad opportunities.
So as Chantel mentioned, we have 8 living learning programs, and students who are invited to the Honors College as freshmen will need to be in one of these unique living learning programs. Each program has a different curriculum, an area of focus or approach which students will pursue in order to earn an honors citation. So after admissions decisions are released, students will have the opportunity to identify which of these living learning programs they prefer through our preferencing form. And then they'll find out a few weeks later which program they're invited to before they have to confirm their decision to enroll at the University of Maryland. So let's talk a little bit about each of these programs. The Advanced Cybersecurity Experience for Students program, known as ACES, will develop successful forward-thinking cyber leaders who will create a safer world by embracing both the technical and non-technical aspects of cybersecurity. Design Cultures and Creativity explores the roles and impact of design in our societies and creative practices in ways that cut across both STEM and non-STEM disciplines. So students in this program are theorists and thinkers who will investigate the digital age through designing, analyzing, and creating. Gemstone is a unique multidisciplinary 4-year research program for honor students of all majors. These are students who are interested in leadership, teamwork, and social impact. Students will work in teams of 8 to 12, starting at the end of their freshman year and continuing all the way through their senior year. They'll be working on a research project with the guidance of a dedicated faculty mentor. Honors Global Communities is one of our 2 newest programs. We've just welcomed our 2nd cohort this fall. This new curriculum is focused on using data science to analyze and consider global challenges. Students in this program will have unique internship opportunities through our Global Fellows program on campus, which will allow them access to internships located in the DC area. And these internships will also satisfy curriculum requirements in the Honors Global Communities program. Honors Humanities is our signature program for exploring the arts and humanities in all the creative, social, and global dimensions, empowering students to find their voices in imagining their future and in changing the world. Integrated Life Sciences offers unparalleled, accelerated, and innovative courses and research opportunities in all areas of the life sciences, as well as service learning experiences that are designed to launch the careers of outstanding students of all majors, exploring all aspects of life sciences. Interdisciplinary Business Honors is another new program with our second cohort starting this fall. This program offers students a big picture view of business in relation to multiple fields like callings and social issues. And it challenges students to imagine the future of work and business. And again, like all our programs, is open to all majors. So there's a mix of business majors and majors from outside of the School of Business. And finally, University Honors, our oldest, largest, and recently reimagined and relaunched program, is defined not by a specific subject, but rather draws on distinguished faculty from across campus to teach fascinating courses on big questions and ideas from different disciplinary perspectives, both STEM and non-STEM. Students will pursue their curiosity wherever it leads as they also encounter multiple perspectives of thinking. As mentioned, every single one of these programs is available to students of any major. So we often get questions about, I'm going to be a blank major, which program is right for me? You can choose any program that you're interested in. It can be related to the major that you're intending to pursue, so that you can really go full out in depth in your chosen field of study. Or you can choose to be in a program that's the complete opposite of the major, giving you an opportunity to broaden your experience during your time here.
So some benefits to being an honor student include our students taking small discussion-based courses, many of which are smaller than the regular courses offered to all UMD students. Our students also are typically, like I said, I mentioned earlier, they'll earn their honor citation, which is something notated on their transcript within 2 years. Although, as previously mentioned, our program, Gemstone, is a 4-year research-based program, so they will earn their citation after that. Students are also able to connect more closely with fellow honor students and with the faculty and staff. We also offer study abroad, internship, and research opportunities both on and off campus. Our students participate fully in the life of the university, and in most cases are members of many departments and student groups across campus. And we also offer a number of social events to encourage our students to connect both with the entire Honors College community and through their specific living learning programs. To include one of our most popular events we host, our ice cream socials featuring our Maryland Dairy ice cream.
And speaking of that ice cream, if you're ever on campus and have the opportunity, we definitely recommend trying it out. So internships, this is definitely something that many students are interested in, and a good percentage of our students do participate in one or more internships during their time here. Our location in the Baltimore, DC area gives our students access to lots of different internship opportunities. And some of our programs will bring in experts in the field of study also to meet with our students, so creating some career connections there. For example, the ACES, or Advanced Cybersecurity Experience program, they have a career mentor component where experts from organizations such as the NSA will come in and talk to the students in the program about their career, how they got there, and then they'll be available to offer the students guidance on their careers. And internships are available both during the school year and over the summer, and can be available both on and off campus.
So University of Maryland is a Research One institution, which means we typically have access to more grants, more labs, more faculty, and more opportunities for our undergrad students to get involved. And since, as I mentioned before, we offer smaller class sizes within the Honors College, this gives our students more access to the faculty and therefore more opportunities to work in those faculty labs. Research opportunities are available both on and off campus. And because of our prime geographical location, our students have easy access to research opportunities in the area, to include Johns Hopkins and the National Institutes of Health.
So I know that many students are also interested in study abroad opportunities, which we definitely have. To be honest, many of our students are in majors that have heavy course loads, so it could make studying abroad for an entire semester challenging, not impossible. And there are many students who do participate in study abroad for the semester or even for a year. But in addition to the semester opportunities, we offer winter, spring break, and summer study abroad programs. So it really makes sure that all students are able to take advantage of the opportunity to study abroad. Students who are interested in studying abroad for a semester should talk to their advisor about the possibilities as early as possible and should visit the study abroad office on campus. I know there's also a study abroad fair that's offered probably every semester on campus, so there are really great opportunities for students to participate. And some of our living learning programs, there's a study abroad option built into the curriculum. So if that's something that's important to you, it's a really great way to pursue study abroad and to complete your honors citation requirements at the same time.
So students at the University of Maryland have hundreds of options to choose from when it comes to getting involved across campus within clubs and organizations. But within the Honors College, our students do have a few involvement opportunities as well. I'll just highlight a couple. So we have our Honors Ambassadors, which is a student-ran organization consisting of current students who are available to talk with prospective students, like the student panel that's joining us tonight. These students participate in all of our on-campus and virtual recruiting events. Also, each of our living learning programs within honors has a student advisory board, which serves as a connection between the students in the program and the faculty and staff who run the program. These students organize and give input for social events and program-specific activities outside of the academic curriculum.
And once students are here, we have a National Scholarship Office on campus that's available to help connect our students with national and international scholarships that will fit their goals and skills. Many of our Honors College students have been very successful in applying for and winning these competitive national and international awards. So here you'll see just a few of the national awards and scholarships that our students in the Honors College have earned this past year, including Churchill Scholar, Fulbright Award recipients, Goldwater Scholar. These are all fantastic opportunities for our students. Okay, so hopefully you are interested in finding out how to become a part of the program. So the good news is there's no additional application to be considered for the Honors College. All students who apply to the University of Maryland, either through the Coalition app or the Common app by the early action deadline of November 1st, will be automatically reviewed to be invited to the Honors College. So all students who apply early action, which is a complete application submitted no later than November 1st, are considered for admission to the university, for invitation to honors and other special programs, and for academic merit scholarships. And when we're evaluating applications for the Honors College, we do a holistic review of the entire application. So we really delve into the application. We take a look at the academic record, test scores if students chose to submit those, the rigor of the curriculum, the extracurricular activities that students are a part of. We pay attention to teacher and counselor letters of recommendations, among other factors. So an important thing to note also is that the University of Maryland will continue to be test optional for applicants applying for fall 2024. So this means that students can choose if they want to submit test scores or not. And we will consider all students for admission, for honors, for scholarships if they submit test scores or if they choose not to submit test scores. One thing to note is if a student makes the decision, they can't change their mind later. So really think carefully. So if a student says, I want to submit my scores on their application, they really need to make sure that the scores are submitted to the University of Maryland by November 1st, because if the scores are not in and a student said, yes, I want my scores to be considered, then it is considered an incomplete application. So think carefully, make a decision. We will consider students whether they submit scores or not. And just so you know, most of the students who are invited to the Honors College will fall near the top of the University of Maryland's admitted class in terms of standardized test scores and academic performance. Most of our Honors College students earned all A's, if not all A's, mostly A's in the most rigorous courses that are available to them at their high school. So we do pay attention to what coursework students have access to and then how rigorous the students' schedule is. And students will be invited to the Honors College. They'll be notified of that with their UMD acceptance letters. So the UMD acceptance letters for students who applied by November 1st will be released around February 1st, and the honors invitation would be included in that letter. All right, so for our current freshman class, we had an enrollment of 1,081 students. So we are looking for a lot of students. The average GPA for those students who were admitted was 4.66. I just want to say something about the average GPA. That is the average, but when we're looking at students' records, we're not looking at the actual GPA. So we have it. It is a data point. We can average it, but we don't look at the GPA. We look at the courses that a student has taken and the grades that they've earned, not the GPA itself. And for students who chose to submit their SAT, the middle 50% of students who were invited to honors was 1480 to 1560. And for the students who chose to submit an ACT, the middle 50% of those invited to honors is 34 to 35. And I don't know the actual percentage of students who applied test optional versus submitting test scores to the University of Maryland, but it's pretty common. If I had to guess, I would say it's 50-50 or somewhere close to that. So there are definitely students who choose to submit their scores, and that's great. And there are students who choose not to submit their scores, and that's fine too.
So the Banneker Key Scholarship is Maryland's most prestigious scholarship. All freshman applicants to the University of Maryland who meet the early action deadline of November 1st and who are invited into the Honors College are automatically considered for nomination to the Banneker Key Scholarship and for other merit scholarships offered by the University of Maryland. So great news is, again, there's no additional application materials needed. This exceptional scholarship opportunity is offered to only a select group of applicants who have demonstrated significant academic leadership and accomplishment in high school and who we believe will enrich and benefit from the campus learning environment. There are two levels of funding, full and partial. The full Banneker Key provides full tuition, resident hall room, and basic resident dining for 4 years. The partial Banneker Key currently provides $8,000 for in-state students and $12,000 for out-of-state students tuition annually. Both levels of the scholarship include an additional book allowance each year. And here you can see some stats from our honors college students who graduated during 2022, including school year, including spring, summer, and December graduation. We had 72% of our graduates that had a job right after graduation, which is amazing. 24% plan to attend graduate school. Some of our students also went into volunteer opportunities like AmeriCorps and the Peace Corps. And we also had a small percentage of our students that went into the military after graduation.
So here you can see some of the types of graduate programs or some of the graduate schools that our students have attended. There's the graduate programs that they're attending include med school, law school, veterinary medicine, library science, engineering, and anthropology. And the right side, you'll see some career, some organizations that our students have jobs with, and the types of placements include systems developer and software developer, engineer at Amazon, a financial analyst and program manager at Microsoft Corporation, and then classroom teachers in the local school district. So this is just a small sample of the many, many places our students go after they graduate.
And here are just, on this slide, you can see just a few of our student profiles. As stated before, most of our students are involved with multiple organizations on and off campus and have interests that are not always related to their field of studies, which we love to see. Just for an example, we do have some of our students who offered some advice for our prospective students that are going through the college admissions process right now. As Sohei says that you may not have anyone who has been through the process and could offer advice, and it could be very overwhelming right now, but please reach out to your colleges and even your high school that you're applying to. There may have been a program where they can connect you with current students or specialized staff who can guide you through the process, which is absolutely true. Amanda says that choosing a college is such a personal process, and she encourages you to look for schools that you will thrive in your own interest, rather than simply looking at ranking lists or following your peers' opinions. And then the last but not least, we have Derek, who says that choosing an academic institution will give you the most opportunities to succeed both academically and professionally, while offering you an environment that would allow you to express yourself fully. So that is the end of our formal presentation. Please go ahead and start asking us questions in the Q&A area. Again, we'll be here until 7 o'clock. Remember to, if we miss your question, just please ask it again. And if you like the question that has already been asked, it'll move it up in our queue for us to respond to. And if your question does not get answered tonight, no worries. Please just feel free to contact us afterwards and we'll definitely respond back promptly. Now, before we start answering questions, I'd like to give some time to invite our students to introduce themselves. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You can see them. Awesome. If you guys can just tell us your major, your living learning program, and where you're from, and what year you are. And I'll start with who's first on my screen, Evan.
Hey guys, my name is Evan. I am a junior chemical engineering major from Frederick, Maryland, and I am in the Gemstone LLP.
Brian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bryant. I'm a middle school math and science education major and disability studies minor. Junior. I'm originally from Rockville, Maryland, and I was in DCC.
Yanni.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tiani. I am a senior finance supply chain double major, and I am in University Honors. I'm from Suitland, Maryland.
Ananya.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ananya. I'm a senior. I am an English and Communications double major and a minor in creative writing. I am originally from Potomac, Maryland, and I was in Honors Humanities.
And last but certainly not least, Maria.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm currently a junior and I'm studying finance and information systems, and I'm from Frederick, Maryland. And then I'm in University Honors.
Thank you. So the first question that we have, Jenny will go ahead and answer it. So it says, what does housing look like for our honor students?
Oh, sorry, that was not for me to answer.
Oh.
I wanted the students to answer the question. If you guys want to talk about your experience in housing, if you guys lived on campus, there's a question about what does housing look like for honor students, and do honors college students get preferable housing? So whoever wants to take it.
Go ahead, Tiani.
I can go. In University Honors, you're going to be living in Heritage Community, which is Peon, Chin, or Johnson Whittle your freshman year. Those are the newest dorms on campus. Very nice. I lived there my freshman year. 10 out of 10 recommend. After that, I believe you get what am I trying to say? The word is like preferred housing, or you get to pick first once you're a returning student at the university, and you get honors housing for La Plata Hall, if I remember correctly, if you're in UH. So yes, after that, you get housing, but that's my experience.
Anyone else want to talk about their housing?
Sure, I can. Oh, sorry. So I was in DCC, so I was in Prince Frederick for 2 years, which is a very nice dorm, but I can also talk about the community, which is wonderful. A very much DCC tradition is kind of leaving your doors open during move-in period, and everyone kind of helps you move in. Everyone goes to dinner together that first night. It's very much feels different from moving in compared to a lot of the other programs, because making a living learning program, you already have that commonality, and you tend to learn everyone like in your program, which is very nice. So you'll have friends on every floor or wherever your program is housed.
I did want to add, if you are Banneker Key, this is my 3rd year technically, but it's my senior year and I'm living off campus. It will cover, like, you get a direct deposit and it will cover up to the amount of the standard room and board that you received that covered your on campus housing. So covers up to that amount, and then after that you can pay for it on your own if it's more than what they give you.
So I just wanted to clarify, each of our living learning programs, students will be housed in a particular dorm. So we have students in residence halls across campus. As you heard from Tiani, the UH students are in the Heritage Community. As you heard from Bryant, the DCC students, as well as the IBH and the ACES students, are all housed in Prince Frederick. Honors Humanities students are in Anne Arundel. Honors Global Community students are in Dorchester. Gemstone students are in Ellicott. ILS students are in La Plata. Did I miss anyone? I think that was 8. Anyway, so as you can tell, we have students living in different programs across campus. For 3 of our programs, they do require students to live in that particular housing. So students in ACES are required to live in the Prince Frederick Hall. Students in the Business Honors Program are required to live in Prince Frederick. And students in ILS, the Life Sciences Program, are required to live in La Plata. So they do have to live on campus and live in those specific halls. For the other 5 programs, students are really strongly encouraged to live on campus and to live with their program, but it is not required. There are many reasons why a student may choose not to live with their program or live on campus. So there are opportunities for students who do not want to live on campus to still participate in our living learning programs. And the only guarantee for housing is not unique to honor students. Students who submit the housing application form by the May 1st deadline are guaranteed housing on campus. If students do not submit the housing application form by the May 1st deadline, they are not guaranteed housing on campus. So if you submit the form, yes, you're going to have housing, and we will communicate with Res Life to make sure that they know to put you in the appropriate residence hall. But if you choose not to live on campus, then that is certainly an option as well.
Thank you. So the next question is asking about the average class sizes within the honors courses. Did anyone of you want to talk about your classes, how they were set up in this class size compared to your regular classes across campus?
I can go. So if you're, I can only speak to specifically UH, but in my university honors classes, there was a main class, and then there was another class that was in the same cluster that kind of went along with it. The main class was typically a little bit bigger, so both of my more main classes were roughly 40-45 students, and then the smaller class that broke off with it was around 20 to 25. And the smaller classes for me were more discussion based as well, and so it was a lot easier to be able to talk to other students in the class and be able to have more one-on-one time with the teacher.
Yeah, I can add on to that a little bit. So I'm an engineering major, which means I have to take a lot of math classes. And so Calc 2 and 3, normally those would be in massive lecture halls with like 200, 300 people. But since I was in the honors college, I had access to the honors sections of those, which were in much smaller classrooms, about 20 to 30 people each, still with the same professors, but just in that much smaller environment, which made it a lot easier to ask for help or clarify something or just raise your hand, not in front of hundreds of people. So it's a massive benefit, especially for those large classes that you'll be taking in your first couple of years here.
Yeah, I would also add that the class structure is very dependent on the program that you're in. So for example, for honors humanities, we just had one class each semester that we were required to take. And your first year, you're taking classes with everyone in your cohort. So my cohort was like somewhere between like 75 and 100 people. So it was all of us in one class. And then your second year, you take your first semester, second year, you take seminars with about like 15, 20 people in each class. And then your second semester, second year, when you're working on your final project, you are with your whole cohort again. So yeah, it does depend on each program, but you also have access to a lot of these smaller classes all around campus, which is really nice. And they're all just great because you get to know these people. You're in the same classes for multiple years. You just get to know them really well. You're taking classes with your friends, so they tend to be just a lot more fun. They honestly always felt like a break in my day. So they just feel a lot better than some of your other classes.
Thank you. And actually that kind of ties into the next question. The question was, are there smaller class sizes that were mentioned for your individual major, or does the Honors College have separate required classes? So actually Evan answered one part of it. So you do have access to honors sections of classes within your major that you can take. But Ananya also kind of mentioned the classes that she has in honors humanities. So each of our programs actually has its own set curriculum that can range between 15 to 18 credits. that is separate from their classes in their major. But again, those honors courses are designed to take the place of general education requirements. Let's see. What about students who are interested in playing in competitive sports? Will being a member in the honors class impact their availability to participate? Do any of you guys participate in sports?
It's not a competitive sport, but it does require like an immense amount of practice. So I'm part of Gymkhana, which requires like 8 hours of practice, but that's only one of the many things I do. The way that I always like to frame it is that if you're passionate about both of these things, you can definitely make time for both of them. It's really about how you make your schedule and how you set your priorities. But I think both of them are very much possible. At the end of the day, honors college is just supposed to help you, not supposed to hinder you in any way.
I just wanted to add, I think we have certainly had some Division I athletes in the honors college. I think it's fairly rare. I'm not sure that I've seen like a football player or a basketball player in the honors college. So I think it may depend some on the sport. But other than that, you know, it's just if the student is able to participate in sports and take classes, great. You know, it's just like any major, it's a matter of scheduling classes that fit when it doesn't conflict with their practices. Some of our LLPs may make that more challenging because the smaller programs are going to offer fewer sections of a course, and so a course may only be available 1 or 2 times, and there's not a wide selection of choices, you know, of times that a student can choose from. And so if that class conflicts with a practice, it may not work. But a program like University Honors for a competitive athlete would be great because there's lots of classes available, lots of times, lots of days of the week that would be available, and hopefully that would allow a student to participate in both University Honors and their sport. And the next question, I'll go ahead. There are a couple questions about the application process, which is definitely questions about application process are definitely questions that Chantel and I can answer because the students don't participate in application review. We really want the students to be able to talk to you about their experience on campus and in the programs. But the first question is about the counselor and the counselor letter of recommendation, because I did mention that we do review the counselor and the teacher letters of recommendation. So the question is about, will the lack of a relationship and recommendation letter from the counselor hurt an applicant's chances of acceptance? I don't think so. Not in my experience. If there's a strong applicant, a strong counselor letter of recommendation can certainly help, but I don't think we don't penalize the students for a counselor letter of recommendation not being very personal, because we also understand there are students who come from schools that have high populations and lots of students applying to college, and the counselors have to write a lot of letters of recommendation, and you know they're doing their best and we understand that, and so it can add information, but it doesn't it would never detract or impact a student's application negatively if there's not a super personal letter of recommendation. Counselors are required to submit a letter of recommendation, and so when they submit the transcripts, the letter of recommendation comes with that. And you know, there are definitely some that are minimal, and that is not something we hold a student accountable for. And then there have been a couple of questions about grades and what years we look at and whether we look at midterm grades. The fact is the application deadline is November 1st of a student's senior year, which means there are no midterm grades for us to look at. But we do look at the entire high school transcript up to that point. So we do look at the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade courses and grades. And just a note, if a course that a student took in middle school counts towards high school graduation, that will also show up in a student's transcript. So I know like algebra and geometry and language classes that a student takes in middle school, those courses and grades also show up on the transcript. We tend not to pay attention to the grades that a student has received in middle school, but we do see them. So that's just a note as well.
So the next question is for our students. Each one of you guys can kind of answer based off your own perspective. What would you say is the greatest benefit of being in the Honors College for you?
All right, I'll start. I definitely think the community and the leadership opportunities that are available in the Honors College are the best part. For one, I really enjoyed the people that I met on my fourth floor peon chin, inaugural class. I'm still friends with a lot of them to this day. So I enjoy that. But also, I'm a part of a lot of things in the Honors College. Within UH, individually, I was Speaker of the House. We do a house system like Harry Potter. Really fun. We host a lot of events. It's a competition. You win things. It's really cool. I enjoyed that. So there's honors ambassadors. I really like this because I get to talk to you all, and then there's in-person events. So I get to see you all in person. I get some of your Instagrams. I keep in touch and see what schools you end up going to. Like, it's really cool to network with you all. Is there anything else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I do something else in the Honors College, y'all, but point is there's a lot that we do and a lot of opportunities for you to grow, leadership, socially, all of that.
I'm gonna have to agree with the community part. It is by far, I think, the greatest benefit of being in the Honors College, but not only the community that you make with your peers, but also a lot of your professors and just everyone that works with the Honors College. And it really is a community because these people stick with you even after you completed your program requirements, because most of them are just 2 years. Even after you graduate from UMD, these are people that will be in your life for a very long time as mentors, as people you can look up to, people you can always talk to. It is really a lifelong lasting community, which is extremely special, especially in a big university like UMD.
Yeah, I would definitely echo the community. It's especially so my first year was the COVID year where everything was online. And so the Honors College was so important to me. I was able to be on campus in Anne Arundel with all the other Honors Humanities people. And we created like a nice little circle there. And I still talk to so many of them. And it was just such a great way, like we mentioned, to meet people and have that smaller community within such a large school. It's a really nice just have that built-in place to just meet people and make friends when you're entering such a big place. And like you said with the professors too, I'm currently working with the director of Honors Humanities on like a senior thesis. So you really maintain those connections even long after you're out of the program. And I would also say like it's just the educational opportunities are really great, just even for people who are just generally academically inclined towards those. But also like I've talked about my experience in Honors Humanities in interviews for internships, like completing these projects, some of the cool classes that you take. I took like a class on haiku for Honors Humanities, and people are always really interested in that. So it's just honestly just a great resume builder too. It's a great way to really stand out post college, and it genuinely gives you so many opportunities, and the impacts of it last way beyond just the 2 to 4 years you're in it.
Yeah, I have to agree with the community aspect of it as well. Going into freshman year, I was really scared, and I liked the aspects of a smaller school of like the classes are a lot smaller, but I also liked the aspects of going to a big school like UMD. And so I think what I really liked about the Honors College is that it was kind of able to merge those two together. And so I was able, like Evan said, I took my Calc 3 class with like the honors section, as well as my Accounting 1 and 2 class were honors sections. So I was able to be in these classes that were originally meant to be like really big lecture halls in a class of like 20-30 people. It was a lot easier for me, but I'm still able to go to that big school and like experience that as well.
So for me, I would definitely say the research opportunities have been great. I'm in the Gemstone LLP, which is mainly focused on research. And the project that I'm focusing on in this is in the fire protection engineering department. So outside of my major, but through that, you get access to a faculty mentor who's been really great, who's given me a lot of opportunities. And then actually through him, I got in connection with one of the chemical engineering professors and his lab, and he was interested and super amazed by some of the things we've been doing. So that got me the opportunity to work in his lab too. And just without getting that connection to that fire protection engineering professor, I probably wouldn't have gotten that opportunity in another lab.
I had one more thing to add. I just really wanted to piggyback on the professor network as well. I've had professors write me letters of recommendation, just invite me for things, nominate me for awards in the honors college. So definitely building on that resume building aspect, because you're gonna need them. They will, like, because the class sizes are so small, you get to actually get to know them and they get to know you, and those relationships do last far after the semester you have their course.
Thank you, guys. So the next question, you want to take that? Okay.
Yeah, a couple of questions about the application. So what elements of the holistic review are you using to determine which honors program to place a prospective student into? So good news, we don't decide on our own. We ask you for input. So students who are admitted to UMD and invited to honors college, we then ask you to tell us which of the programs you're most interested in. And so we do our best to get students into the programs that they are most interested in, the ones that they're wanting to pursue. And so then we do let you know after you've let us know what your preferences are. We do share with students which program they're invited to before you have to make a decision about where to attend college. But we make those decisions based on what you have told us that you're interested in. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, you can say, I really want to be an ACES, but I'm also interested in possibly studying honors humanities. And so we give you an opportunity to give us several different programs that you're interested in. And then we make those decisions based on space in the programs, primarily. Another question about would being a part of the dual enrollment program be factored in the holistic review? Absolutely. Dual enrollment will show up on a student's high school transcript. And so that is something that we look at as a part of the application process and in invitation to honors process for sure. I'm going to keep going. There's a couple more questions. How many students are typically accepted into the honors college? So we said we enrolled around 1,080 this year. We accepted a little over 3,300. So we have a pretty good yield rate in terms of students that we've invited who then decide to enroll. And so it was about 3,300 students that we invited to honors. And then there's a question about AP Bio required for the Life Sciences Honors Program. What if your school does not have AP Bio? Because of the curriculum that the Life Sciences Program does, the first year course that students take is sophomore level bio. So students have to have freshman level bio, whether it comes from AP Bio or it comes from a summer course, a summer course after your senior year won't work. But if you take it at a local community college, so a student can take the equivalent course, they just need to have credit that will come into the University of Maryland to satisfy the first year of bio in order for them to be successful in, the second year bio course, which is the first course that students take in the Life Sciences Program. So it doesn't have to be AP Bio, it can be IB Bio, it can be a community college course. They have to show the first year of bio.
I see there's a question in regards to is high school EC's extracurriculars? Okay. So what are the high school extracurriculars that are common amongst honor students? It varies. All of our students are very active within their high schools usually. Do any of you guys want to say what you were involved in when you were in high school? If you can remember.
I can. I did theater in my high school, but I was kind of like a backstage person. So I was the stage manager for my high school theater program. And I did not continue that in college. So there's definitely no expectation to do that. I think the most important thing is probably just showcasing like that you're like maybe passionate about something, or like some leadership is always really impressive. But yeah, it's just showing that you're like involved in your school tends to be really nice, because people in the honors college also tend to get very involved in just throughout the campus.
Yep, I was in SGA and a few honor society, but as she mentioned, the number one commonality thing between everyone is that they really love the extracurriculars that they were involved in. You can see the passion when they bring it up, especially that freshman year, and they carry that passion throughout all university through different ways. But I think that's just the commonality, just anything that you love and that you feel like you were a leader in, whatever leadership means to you.
My school didn't offer extracurriculars, so I did one thing outside of school. I was in a program called Inroads, which is a professional development program, just helping me with my career path pretty much. But I wouldn't say like focus on trying to find common extracurriculars, as they were saying, just something you are passionate in or something that you're really good at. Like my school was a dual enrollment high school, so I came out with my associates. That's like a perk, even though I didn't have extracurriculars, I had something else. So.
Thank you guys. So next question is, what percentage actually complete their honors program? I don't know if we have the statistic on that, Jimmy. A lot. I would say the majority of our students complete their program. If there are any students that don't complete it, most of the time we do have some students that drop out of their living learning program, maybe after like the first semester if they feel like they're not interested in it. But it's not a big group of students.
No, it's a small number. Sometimes students just decide that it's not the right fit for them, or they're not interested in those classes, or the classes don't fit and they want to, move on in their major, or any, those types of reasons. So it does happen, but the vast majority of the students do complete their honor citation.
So the next question, Tiani and Maria can answer. They want to know more about university honors and I guess talking about the clusters and tracks and stuff like that, since it is a little different setup.
Yeah, I can start. So at least for what I did, I started out with a 1 credit intro course. I believe all majors have to take it, but it's like the equivalent of it. So I think if you're not honors, it's University 100. Mine was just like honors 100. And then you can either do a thematic cluster. I don't know what it's called. I didn't do that one. I did the 2 clusters. And so my first cluster was about identity and intersectionality. And so that was like the main class, what it was called. And then the class I did based off that one was one more specifically about disability. And that was, I remember it was more of a discussion-based class. And so the class was around 20 students, and we just sat in a big circle and talked about different topics every week. And then the second cluster that I did was body politics, I believe. That was pretty cool. And so the main class, similarly, it was more of a lecture, and it had a discussion section as well. And then the class I took after that, maybe the disability class was for that actually. This was like a year ago. Yeah, but you get the idea. So I did body politics and the identity intersectionality one. And then the semester after, so my last fall, I completed the citation. You do your seminar class, which is a 2 credit. It's kind of like a outro course, and it kind of summarizes the whole program, and you get to kind of like talk about what you learned and apply it to a passion project.
Maria did a pretty good job summing up UH. Honestly, it's just 15 credits. We actually took the same 2 clusters, which is funny. So the 2 satellite courses she was talking about, those are the ones that if you're going to sign up for that cluster, everyone has to take. And then there are like 2 to 4 electives for each cluster that you can choose to take. So I took, for the identity and intersectionality one, a masculinity and mental health course. And then for the other one, I took like a sex work and transnational perspective course. So those clusters, those themes, they rotate out every 2 years. So you don't, the ones we took, you're not able to take when you come, if you come. But there'll be some new interesting options when you get here.
I also wanted to say that both me and Tiani are not really involved with like what the classes we took. They're very outside of what we're studying. We're both in the business school. And so it was really cool for us to be able to take these classes that are more discussion based. And they're just very different, like from what we're learning. It wasn't very technical. And it was just kind of a nice break from the classes. And at least for me, they satisfied a lot of my gen ed requirements. A lot of the classes satisfied more than one.
Yeah, adding on to that, the Vantage Point seminar, which is pretty much the last course you take in UH, I did my project on crocheting. So you can just pretty much pick anything you're passionate about, do a skill share. That's what it's called, skill share. So, yep.
Thank you, guys. So the next question is, do you mention your honors college or your liberal arts program on your resumes or LinkedIn profiles? And if you do, in a professional setting, do you tell employers or anything like that about the honors college and how, and if they do ask you about it, what do you say?
So I do include the honors college in my LinkedIn and resume. I could put it under, so I have like University of Maryland there, and then under University of Maryland, I put like honors humanities citation. And I've actually never had employers specifically ask like, what is honors humanities? What'd you do there? However, a lot of times they'll ask about, have you done special projects in school? Can you tell me about those? Or just, yeah, like leadership things. So anytime they ask about a special project, that's always my go-to. And it's nice to have that in my back pocket of like, oh, I did this Keystone project over a whole semester and did all this research and worked with faculty mentors. And people are always very impressed by it. It's a great thing to talk about in interviews and cover letters. Even it shows a lot. So it definitely helps build your resume, and is at the very least gives you a really impressive talking point.
Yeah, I can add on to that. I have a similar experience with that. I also have my honors college designation on my resume and LinkedIn, next to like University of Maryland. But I think what's most important for me and what I've actually been asked about in interviews and talking to potential employers is just the projects that the honors college has allowed me to participate in. I frequently get asked about the research project I'm doing in the honors college because I have that in my technical experiences section. And especially for engineering and like STEM related fields, that kind of lab work and hands-on working on projects, working with, tenured faculty on these high level projects looks really good. So that is something I've been asked in pretty much every single interview I've had. And without the honors college, I might not have had that opportunity.
Thank you. So for the next question, if a couple of you can answer, since we only have a few more minutes, what made you choose going to University of Maryland and actually accepting your honors college invite over any other acceptances that you got?
I can go. For one, Banneker Scholar, they gave me the money, so there's that. Also, it's really close to home. I'm about 25 minutes away. I really love my family, so that was important that I could be able to go home. And then when I had a rough semester, I wasn't far, so they were always there. Business school is just going up and up in tiers and rankings nationwide, so that's also a good perk. And I love the big school feel. Again, the small honors college courses are helpful. However, I love the school spirit that we have here. I love that I can just meet new people any day, and I may not ever see them again, but we had a good time. So, yeah.
So my senior year of high school, I was between Johns Hopkins and UMD. I eventually went with UMD just because even before I was even a student anyone I spoke to definitely showed that they cared about their students. Like I remember talking to Chantel before I was even an honors ambassador, and that was just really every professor, anyone that works at UMD, that they're so willing to be so open to their students and really just build a relationship that lasts forever. Like even the director and associate directors of DCC, they built such strong connections. Even before I said, yes, I'm in DCC, they just really cared about their students. And I appreciated that, especially as a first generation student, because there was really no support at home. But as soon as I walked into these spaces, they just said, we want you here. And that was very special.
Yeah, I would also add that I eventually chose to come to UMD because with the honors college, I felt like UMD literally offered like anything you could ask for in a college experience. So like I was looking at other like smaller liberal arts colleges, but by getting into the honors college, I felt like I was able to get that experience while also having the resources of a huge research university. Not and we're in the Big Ten, so there's a bunch of fun sports going on, so much school spirit. There's so much in the area. But I feel like my one favorite thing about UMD is that everyone just finds their little pocket of like what they want and what they need. And there's so many different people that you meet, but you also are able to find your community really well. And so UMD and also just especially the honors college helps really gives you the best of every world.
Alrighty, and the last question, was how do classes compare, to that of your other classes, across, I know we answered this, but if one of you want to answer that?
I can go. In terms of the classes I actually took through UH, I don't think difficulty wise it was like more difficult than taking any other gen ed. I felt like it was a normal gen ed. It just was more discussion based, and it was just easier for me to like do good in the classes. Especially I also lived in Pyeongchang floor 4 with Tiani. A lot of the people on my floor were in my classes, so like a lot of the students would like study in the lounges, so it was easy. If I had a question, I could just like knock on someone's door or like go to the lounge and they would be there and they could help me with that. And then in terms of like the more general classes that you can take, that's like honor section, for me, I'm a little biased, but I think it was like a little bit easier just because I like that one-to-one relationship with the teacher and be able to like raise my hand and get all my questions answered. Or even if I'm too scared to ask a question, someone else in the class probably will ask the same question. And then later on, after like I finished my citation, I took like a different math class. It was a bigger lecture. I feel like I struggled more in that just because it was harder for me to focus because it was like 200 plus students. So I really like that aspect of it and having access to those honors sections.
Perfect, thank you guys so much, and right on time. Before we end, if there were questions that you didn't get answered, please feel free to email us. I'm going to put our email address in the chat for everyone to get. And want to do a special thank you to our honors ambassadors for taking the time out to talk to you guys. And again, if you're thinking about applying to UMD, please remember to apply by the November 1st deadline so that you can be considered for not only the Honors College, but other living learning programs on campus and merit scholarships. Is there anything else you want to add, Jenna? Well, great. All right, well, everyone, I hope everyone has a good night. Take care.